Well, the team has been announced to face the Adelaide Crows, and as expected, there are 2 changes to the team. No one else is coming in except for the replacements for Kyle Langford and Jordan Ridley. Tom Edwards, it was announced yesterday, is making his debut for the Bombers, so congratulations to him, 24 years old. Was a school teacher from Perth, barracked for the Bombers, has played really well in the pre-season games and has definitely earned his spot. And he's taken advantage of an unfortunate injury to Langford to make his debut. So in what should be nice conditions at the MCG, it's good to see him making his debut. And Jai Menzies as well comes into the team. And this means for the second week in a row, the Bombers are the youngest team of the round. We were the youngest team in round 1. Everyone thought it was maybe Richmond. And if not Richmond, you think, well, it might have been North Melbourne or West Coast. No, it was Essendon, and we are now even younger. We have replaced a 26-year-old and a 28-year-old with a 22-year-old and a 24-year-old. So the youngest team of round 1 is now even younger in round 2. We had an average age of just over 24 years, and that has reduced a little bit. So just to put things into perspective, that might surprise a few people. I think if you asked a lot of people what was the youngest team of the round, people would have probably said Richmond. But it's not. It's not, and it's us, it's the Bombers. So it just goes to show you, I think, that the club is on the right track here, regardless of the result. I think Adelaide are going to put up a pretty tough performance for us on the weekend. I think it's going to be a tough game. And that experience factor might surprise some people, and look, it might be the difference in the game. I know I tipped the Bombers in my previous video, but look, win or lose, this is obviously going to be a tough one. So just looking at the teams, on the back line we've got McGrath, Mackay and Jackson Pryor. The halfbacks are Redman, Zach Reid and Nick Martin. Xavier Dersma on the wing, Jai Caldwell, who was not just the team's best player, he was one of the best players of the round last week. 36 possessions, 129 champion data points, 11 tackles, magnificent performance, definitely the player of the week for the Bombers. And Archie Roberts on the other wing. Jade Gresham comes into the team as part of the starting 22. I don't think he should have been the sub last week, to be honest. He played a very good game after coming on, but I think his form in the practice games and the game against Geelong warranted being selected in the starting 22. So he's there along with Caddy and Perkins. Harrison Jones is named in the forward pocket, so that goes to what I was thinking. I thought Harrison Jones would probably play some prominent role down there in the forward line, and I think he will. Sam Draper is named at full forward. Isaac Karko in the forward pocket. We've got Nick Bryan, Sam Durham and Merritt as the followers. And the interchange is Elisha Sartis, Ben Hobbs, Dylan Shield, Jai Menzies and Tom Edwards. So there is the team for the match against the Adelaide Crows. So just looking at the team, will be interesting to see who they play on the 3 big boys from Adelaide down there. They've got Darcy Fogarty, Hillthorpe and of course Taylor Walker. We have, just looking at a backline, we have Mackay and Zach Reid down there. But there's not too many other big boys down there who could potentially play on. I think Redmond will probably get the job on one of the other ones, on probably Fogarty or someone like that. But you just look at the rest of the backline there. McGrath, small player. Pryor, small player. Nick Martin is named down there. I hope he doesn't play down there. I want Nick Martin to play forward. I don't really pay that much attention to how the teams are named these days. Often they're just placed on the field, on the selection night, but really how the game unfolds is not necessarily how they're named on the field down there. But just looking at the, all the players, regardless of where they are on the field, it's sort of difficult to see that third tall who could, play down there on the 3 Adelaide boys. So hopefully we can hold them. They're a bit more mature than us. They're a bit bigger than us. And, we definitely need to be able to, prevent their big guys from taking marks down there in the forward line. Like, one thing we do need to improve is preventing the ball movement from forward 50 to defensive 50, or from the opposition defensive 50 to their own forward 50. We put in the 8th worst performance in the last 5 years, the 8th worst Essendon performance in the last 5 years in that particular stat on the weekend, where we allowed Hawthorn easy access from the back line to their forward line. It wasn't all bad though. We had one of our better performances in the last few years in terms of our clearance performance and also our contested possessions. We were plus 25 in contested possessions and plus 19, I believe, in clearances, which was among the best performances of the round and among the best performances that we've put in as a club over the last 4 or 5 years. So we were right at the top end of a couple of the important statistical categories and right down at the bottom end of one of the other statistical categories. So it's obvious the area that we need to improve on. We obviously need to improve our preventing ball movement by the opposition from one end of the field to the other. This has been a problem for Essendon for probably the last 2 or 3 seasons, or ever since Brad Scott's been coach. We've been pretty good at some areas, but that is an area we struggled in. So if we can fix up that area, I think we can probably win the game. But it's a big if. It is a big if. As I said, we are the youngest team of the round for the second week in a row, and but that's not to say there's not experience there. I mean, look, some of these players are in their 4th and 5th seasons. We've got a reasonable mix of youth and experience in the team. Not sort of players that have played 250 games or anything like that. But looking at players like Merritt and McGrath and Redman and even Caldwell, who hasn't played that many games, but I think plays as a leader and performs as an experienced player. We've got the players out there to be able to get the job done. But it's going to be very difficult out there. As I've said in the previous video, Adelaide are good opposition. They've got no injuries. They'll be running on top of the ground. And it's a good thing we've got this match at the MCG. Only the 3rd home and away match we've ever played against Adelaide at the MCG. The good news is we are unbeaten against the Adelaide Crows at the MCG. We've never lost to them, so they'll be anxious to break that duck. For a long time, you might remember, Adelaide never beat us in Victoria anywhere. It took them a very, very long time to beat us in Victoria. I think it took them up to about 2015 or something like that. Might have been a bit before that. But anyway, so that's the team that's announced. What do you guys think of the team? So we have Tom Edwards coming into the team and Jai Menzies. I thought perhaps Hayes might have come in, but I'm not sure he's quite ready as that 3rd tall. I think that's probably what Brad Scott was thinking. And I think I know some people are probably going to criticise Menzies coming into the team. A lot of people wanted Hayes in there because of the 3rd tall, but having 2 debutants when we're already the youngest team of the round might be a bit much. It might be a bit much. I mean, 1 debutant, that's fine, but having 2 debutants when you already have an average age of about 24.2 or whatever it is just might be taking it a bit far. So what do you guys think? Please subscribe to the channel if you like this content. I try to provide up-to-date Essendon content for everybody. It'll help the YouTube algorithm if you do so, and about 80% of the people watching this are unsubscribed, so I would appreciate a lot if you did that. And as always, have a great day and go Bombers.